Welcome back, everybody, to Joe's Bibles. This is Joe. So let's say you want to do a regular devotional time with the Lord, either in the morning or in the evening or sometime in the afternoon, but you want to get into a regular rhythm of going into the scriptures and spending time with God in the scriptures. What's the first thing that you do? My first suggestion is pick a book of the Bible to go through daily, and not just randomly choosing Bible chapters or verses. And I'm not big on just randomly opening the book of the Bible and then just choosing whatever chapter that it falls on. The best way to study the scriptures is to go book by book, chapter by chapter, verse by verse. For me, I'm going through the Gospel of John starting this month. And the first thing that I would do is I would get a study Bible. So this is what I use. This is the NASB Holman Handcrafted, not a Holman Handcrafted, but a Holman Study Bible of the NASB 2020. And before I jump into the chapters, my first day would just be to do an overview, basically to read the introduction in the study Bible. Read this part. This part of the introduction is basically telling you that the Gospel of John is different from the other Gospels. They are called the Synoptic Gospels. The prefix syn, S-Y-N, means the same. So Matthew, Mark, and Luke all have the same stories being told, or similar stories being told, but the Gospel of John is different because it does not focus on the miracles, the parables, and the public speeches that are so prominent in the other accounts. Instead, the Gospel of John emphasizes, and this is really important, the identity of Jesus as the Son of God and how we as believers should respond to his teachings. At the bottom part of this first page of the introduction is a quote from John chapter 13, verses 3 to 5. So the first part of the introduction talks about the circumstances of the writing. The Gospel of John suggests that the author was an apostle, one of the 12, and then still more specifically, it was John, the son of Zebedee. Well, what's the background? When was this written? This tells us that it was a date probably in the 80s, most likely. So take that with a grain of salt. May not be accurate, but at least it gives you an idea of when this gospel was written. Who was the audience? This tells us that it was composed of people in the larger Greco-Roman world in Ephesus. The purpose of the Gospel of John is evangelistic. So it says here, the purpose statement in John 20, the end of the book, 30 to 31, indicates that John wrote with an evangelistic purpose, probably seeking to reach unbelievers. Also, this tells us that the Gospel of John is trying to convey the idea of Jesus as the new temple and center of worship for God's people in replacement of the old sanctuary. This also tells us that in the message and purpose that two big things. It's trying to convey the deity of Jesus. The other big theme and message of the Gospel of John is to know and believe. Both of these words occur more than 90 times in this gospel. What does this contribute to the rest of the scriptures? Well, pretty simple. The Gospel of John teaches the deity and preexistence of Christ more clearly than any other New Testament book. This provides us with striking proofs of Jesus's messiahship, because John is going to give us 7 I am statements of Jesus. The next part is the structure, and this is really interesting too. The Gospel of John is typically divided into 2 parts, chapters 2 to 11, which focuses both on Jesus' ministry to the world and the signs he performed. The second half is from chapters 12 through 21, and this gives us Jesus' teachings to his disciples and the triumphant hour of his passion. So teaching and triumph. Then I glanced over the outline just to see where this gospel is going, how it's broken up into major sections. And then at the bottom, you have a timeline, and it's not just information or stuff that's found in the Gospel of John, it's other things too. So if you're doing a devotional and you want to be more consistent, my recommendation is choose one book of the Bible, get yourself a study Bible and study through it. And before you jump into the chapters, read the introduction so you get a good overview of what that book of the Bible is about. And I think that will be really helpful for your times with the Lord in the scriptures. Well, that's it, everybody. Thank you for watching this video. And remember, read your Bible.